Tanmavadi Daivadan Bavad Vidaha. Next, please.
Takya karma drishodurashaya. Parodayenarpita ridrucho nisham. Paranduruktai vitudantya rusudas. Tanmavaditai vavadhan bhavatvidam.
Pritak, differently. Diyaha, those who are thinking. Karma, fruitive activities. Drishaha, observer. Durashayaha, mean-minded. Paraudayena, by others' flourishing condition. Arpita, given up. Hrit, heart. Rujaha, anger. Anisham, always. Paran, others. Duruktaihi, harsh words. Vitudanti, gives pain. Aruntudaha, by piercing words. Tan, unto them. Ma, not. Avada, kill. Daiva, by providence. Vadhan, already killed. Bhavat, you. Vidaha, like. You put it little up, so I don't have to have so close. Little up.
What you need? Volume.
Little louder. Little loud. Just little louder. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama.
Okay.
I have to hear myself. Okay. Little lower. Little lower. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Yes, perfect. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Okay. Oh, somebody is already watching. I thought we were not online. Oh my goodness. Okay, thank you for watching. Translation. Persons who observe everything with differentiation, who are simply attached to fruitive activities, who are mean-minded, who are always pained to see the flourishing condition of others, and who thus give distress to them by uttering harsh and piercing words, have already been killed by providence. Thus, there is no need for them to be killed again by an exalted personality like you. Purport. Persons who are materialistic and always engaged in fruitive activities, for material profit cannot endure seeing the flourishing life of others. Except for a few persons in Krishna consciousness, the entire world is full of such envious persons who are perpetually full of anxieties because they are attached to the material body and are without self-realization. Since their hearts are always filled with anxiety, it is understood that they have already been killed by Providence. Thus Lord Shiva, as a self-realized Vaishnava, was advised not to kill Daksha. A Vaishnava is described as Paradukadukhi because although he is never distressed in any condition of life, he is distressed to see others in a distressed condition. Vaishnavas therefore should not try to kill by any action of the body or mind, but should try to revive the Krishna consciousness of others out of compassion for them. The Krishna consciousness movement has been started to deliver the envious persons of the world from the clutches of Maya, and even though devotees are sometimes put into trouble, they push on the Krishna consciousness movement in all tolerance. Lord Chaitanya advises, Trinad one can chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking himself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than the tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and ready to offer all respects to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. Shikshashtaka 3. A Vaishnava should follow the examples of such Vaishnavas as Haridas Thakur, Nityananda Prabhu, and also Lord Jesus Christ. There is no need to kill anyone who has already been killed, but it should be noted herewith that the Vaishnava should not tolerate the blaspheming of Vishnu or Vaishnavas, although he should tolerate personal insults to himself. Pritagdiya karmadrisho durashayaha parodaye narpitahrit rujo nisham paranduruktar vitutantyaruntudas tanmavati daiva vadan bhavad vidaha. Persons who observe everything with differentiation, who are simply attached to fruitive activities, who are mean-minded, who are always pained to see the flourishing condition of others, and who thus give distress to them by uttering harsh and piercing words, have already been killed by Providence. Thus, there is no need for them to be killed again by an exalted personality like you. So, do you know who is speaking this? Who?
Brahma.
Lord Brahma. Yes, Lord Brahma is speaking to whom?
Shiva.
To Lord Shiva. Okay. So you see, both of them are Mahajans. There are 12 Mahajans, and Mahajan means great authority in devotional service, in Bhagavad Dharma, in Krishna consciousness. So in this universe there is 12 authorities, and both Brahma and Shiva are authorities there. Out of these 12, there are 2. And Swayambur Narada Shambhu. So in the first line of the verse that describes Mahajans, Yamaraj describes Mahajans, including himself. So in the first line, Brahma, Narada and Shiva are mentioned. Swayambur is Brahma, Lord Brahma. So sometimes in the Bhagavatam we will see that Mahajans meet each other and they talk. And these are always high-class conversations. This is wonderful verse and wonderful purport, and it's very much related to devotee care and mutual support amongst devotees, which we speak in the seminar. We speak about devotee care and helping each other succeed. So, one thing we can learn from the scriptures to have meaningful conversations or high-class conversations or deep conversations. Instead of having frivolous or shallow conversations, we can have deep conversations, and deep conversations are more satisfying for devotees. And therefore, Srila Rupa Goswami describes 6 loving exchanges, and 2 of them have to do with confidential conversations or deep conversations. Guyam akyati prichati. And this is in the seminar that we have about devotee success partnership. We actually speak about this, that this devotee success partnership facilitates actually these kind of conversations. So somehow more and more devotees I talk to, I see very, very clear need for such association, structured association, planned association, spending one time in a way that will bring the most benefit to each devotee. Even I will recommend this to our top leaders also, because now we have Sabha, Shastric Advisory Bhagavat Assembly, who are supposed to advise the GBC or to help them make better decisions, and we can also give some recommendations. And I have already been given in the European Leaders Meeting, I have been given a recommendation that every leader should have a coach. And then one of the senior devotees, he reacted, he said, but who will coach us? We are senior to everyone. But coaching is not, you don't have to be senior to coach others. This is just a service, it's a facilitation. Like you don't have to be senior to be a doctor. I mean, even if you are older, you will accept healing or therapy from younger doctor because he knows how to help you. So similarly, Dr. Coach can help you with different things in your life. But then I said, okay, if you don't want to accept a younger person as a coach, then you can coach each other. But at that time I didn't have this system, I didn't develop this system. So he later wrote me, apologized, he said, sorry I was having the meeting, but this peer coaching, coaching each other is really, really powerful. Believe me, I started doing it like a couple of months ago, and it makes a big difference in my spiritual life. So I highly recommend it to everyone who wants to speed up his advancement in Krishna consciousness. So yesterday I spoke to one quite prominent coach in England, and I told her that, she asked me, so what is your spiritual background? And I said, well, Krishna, Hare Krishna, you know maybe about this? She didn't say yes, but I know that she knows. And I said, you look, actually I'm following Bhagavad Gita. This is why I call myself Gita Seva, and they all call me Gita. They call me Gita.
Mr. Seva.
What?
Mr. Seva.
Mr. That's better. Better when they call me Seva than Gita. But Gita is also good. Gita is song. So I said, you know what is Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad Gita is transcription of a coaching session. And she immediately liked it. Transcription of a coaching session, because in the beginning the client he didn't want to take action, but the coach convinced him to take action. He explained to him how it is good for him and how it is his duty, and how he will be more happy if he takes action. But he was confused because of the family relationships and different, like teachers are there and nephews are there and different relatives were there. So he was a little bit sentimental. And also we see in the Bhagavatam conversations, like here, these conversations, very, very deep conversations. So, we meet each other and we say, how are you? But actually I have friends like Ram Nrsimha Prabhu, who is my age, young man, and he used to be a Sankirtan leader, and now he's a wonderful servant of devotees. He always serves devotees. He always, gives a lift to devotees with his car. And so he has a habit to ask, how is your spiritual health? Or if you have a close relationship with someone, you can ask him, how are you an artist? You say, well, they're well and happy. I mean, not well and happy, they're strong. Wow, that's too bad. So you can ask, how is your family, how is your health, but you can ask also, how is your self-realization? Or sometimes I ask devotees, how is your Krishna? And they say, oh, my Krishna, I forgot him. My Krishna is not very good, I have abandoned him. Or sometimes I think he abandoned me. So sometimes even great personalities have to calm down each other and pacify each other, because here Shiva wants to kill, and Brahma tells him, no need to kill, no need to kill. Especially in this age, we don't kill people, their bodies, we kill their demoniac mentality. But there is a lecture, one of the Bhagavad Gita lectures by Srila Prabhupada, where he says, soon you will see the power of the Hare Krishna movement. If needed, devotees can fight, like Arjuna, like Hanuman. So devotees can fight, and we have seen devotees fighting sometimes. Devotees are not just spoiled mommy's boys, weak mommy's boys. No, they're bold. To go on Sankirtan and be rejected, you need to be bold. Or to be attacked by people sometimes, or by dogs. I mean, sometimes you're attacked by dogs on book distribution. So you have to be a little bit like a warrior. So I will give you 2 examples where devotees show their kshatriya faculties or qualities. Once in Ireland, police wanted to stop Harinam. And devotees in Ireland, they're a little bit tough. So you can't mess around with them so easily. You know that. So the couple of policemen wanted to arrest 6-7 devotees. Devotees said, no way, you can't arrest us. So they forced them into car and locked them into car and continued Harinam. They pushed them into the car and locked them into, I think it was a van.
They locked the police?
Yeah, they locked the police in the car. Because there were some devotees who were very strong. Policemen couldn't beat them up. Then in Serbia also, during the war, just when there was end of the war, Satchidananda Maharaj organized huge Harinam. This was very bold, because these guys, they have knives, they can attack you, these paramilitary chetniks. So, and even TV, I mean, even everything was recorded. There is video recording of this when devotees make Harinam in the main walking street in Belgrade. This was very risky. This was very risky. I used to do also at the end of this street with one devotee, smaller Harinam sitting, and people come and show us like this. These are tough guys. But Satchidananda Swami wasn't afraid, and devotees were not afraid. And so, but we had devotees following Harinam, devotees who are ninjas and karate and different. So they would follow Harinam, and if anybody wants to approach Harinam and bother devotees or bother Matajis, they would stop them. And you can see in the video, one of our main ninjas, Balisadachari Prabhu from Macedonia, he is actually a ninja guru. He has many disciples. So some guy who wanted to come, and he would just he has very strong grip. If he holds your hand, you can't move it. Jai, Shishigoritai, Jai, Jagannath, Baladev, Baladev, Jai, Srila Prabhupada, Jai. So if need, we can fight and we can beat up people, but what's the use? Better to beat up their demoniac mentality. But sometimes we have to protect devotees. Sometimes they are attacked on Harinam or on book distribution, so we have to protect them physically. So here Lord Rama is explaining this, that those who are envious of devotees and envious of other persons also, they use harsh words, they are already being punished. They will be punished by providence. But we want to deliver such people. So it is said here that this Krishna consciousness moment is meant to deliver the envious persons. And of course, to deliver envious persons, we have to give up envy ourselves. And paradukadukhi means one who is in pain when others are in pain, one who is suffering when others are suffering. But this also refers to devotees. If we see that the devotee is suffering, we should help him and make sure he is okay, and he is well situated and he is happy. So therefore we have devotee care, where we want to help devotees to be happy in Krishna consciousness, and that their needs are taken care of. All needs. Their physical needs, emotional needs, spiritual needs, intellectual needs. And you see, devotees are not shallow people, devotees are deep people, and they have a need for deep conversations. Sometimes devotees say, oh, I'm frustrated, but I'm not sure why. But when you have a satisfying, deep conversation, you become satisfied. When you speak about self-realization, when you speak about Krishna, when you speak about overcoming different obstacles, when you make a plan. And therefore this devotee success partnership is very important. It can help you to have deep conversations and to become more responsible, more accountable. In the beginning we get some training, but after some time, devotees don't train us anymore. And you look at the clock and already 5-6 years have passed and they already think you are senior devotee. So nobody's telling you anything. People are even afraid to approach you. And you become unlucky. You become unlucky because you don't get training anymore. Because people are afraid to train you because you are training them. So, therefore, in order to facilitate our need for training, we can have this training between peers, between devotees, this devotee success partnership. Those who are equal or near equal, they can actually help each other with self-discipline, with sadhana, with japa, with reading, with behavior, with different issues. It can be finances, anything related to life, they help each other. And if you talk to someone about you, it's already much easier. It's already much easier. Just like Mahatma Prabhu does amazing seminars, and seminars that nobody is running. Like, he has forgiveness seminars about forgiveness, and he has seminars, sexual purity for men. And he has students who says, oh, I'm so grateful that I can speak about this because it's like a taboo topic. So I'm so grateful I can speak about this with someone, openly or half openly, secretly or half secretly, because everybody is struggling with lust. We have a material body, the body wants to enjoy. And if you identify with the body, you think, I want to enjoy. And it's not easy to follow the Four Elemental Principles. But if you can talk to someone openly about it, I have boys from different parts of the world writing me about their problem with lust. And but there are ways how to deal with this. And if you feel that I can speak openly with senior devotees and I will not be judged, I will not be kicked out, I will not be labeled, I will not be blamed, then you can deal with, you can deal more successfully with this great challenge that everybody has. So therefore, creating a space for open conversation about what we are facing is actually very, very important service for everyone. It's a facilitation of devotees' progress. So we have to be compassionate to devotees too. We are compassionate to new people, to guests, but sometimes we are very cruel with devotees. We become fanatical and torture people, or just become too attached to rules. So there is two extremes. One is niyamagraha and niyamaagraha, to be too attached to rules and fanatically, and to neglect the rules also. So neither extreme is good. Upadeshamrita says we have to have balance. Both extremes are unfavorable for the progress in devotional service. So we need to become compassionate to our devotees and to help them become happy in Krishna consciousness. We want happier devotees and we want more devotees. And when intelligent people come to our movement and they see how we treat each other, they don't want to join. Radha Maharaj gives an example of a congregational member who remained a congregational member for 20, 30 years. He said, I don't want to join because as a life member or as a guest you're treating me decently, but if I become your member, poor me. I don't know how you treat me because I see how you treat your members. So everyone matters, everyone is important, everyone is respectable. We should respect every devotee, no matter how big or small he or she is. And we should help every devotee succeed. And now here there is a mention of the humility verse, Trinadapiti Sunichana, which speaks about humility, and this also can be misunderstood. One big problem in spiritual life, or one big obstacle, is misinterpretation of the scriptures, especially misinterpretation of the application of the scriptures. Just like I reacted the other day, Adbhuta Hari Prabhu was speaking about we are above mundane morality. So I reacted a little bit to this because it can be misinterpreted. It can be misinterpreted. And I have spoken or preached about many points, and people from the audience, they would say, and what about this? And I say, thank you so much, because if you wouldn't raise this point to explain it from the other angle, then people would misunderstand it, misinterpret it, and misapply it. So therefore, when we discuss in the Success Partnership session about how to apply certain principle from the Shastra or certain rule, then we need to come to a proper conclusion and understand how to apply things for the benefit of all. Otherwise, we can misunderstand it, misapply it, and get bad result. We don't get the good result, even if we are following like anything. So what does it mean? Srila Prabhupada, Acharya, is showing us how he can be flexible and in application of the principles. So there is a principle, there is details, and he's showing it according to time, place, and circumstances. If a new person comes to Krishna consciousness, you don't hit him or her with thousands of rules, because they will just get lost in rules or feel overwhelmed. No, you explain the basic things and what is the essence. Explain the essence and what we should focus on. What is the main thing? Then gradually we can introduce different things, and as the understanding grows, and therefore Shravanam is very important. But Shravanam is facilitated by Kirtanam, and Kirtana has to be done nicely. We have to explain things nicely. Therefore Srila Prabhupada wanted us to discuss from all angles of vision, to discuss Shastra. Now we have, in the seminar, we had a homework to work with, actually there is some of us who are preparing for the Friday and Saturday, preparing by already doing some exercise outside of the seminar. So we have taken one verse, and we are working on this verse whole week and trying to apply that verse. So the verse is 6.5, that one should deliver himself with his mind, or one should elevate himself with his mind and not degrade himself with his mind. This is such an important verse, because we are torturing ourselves with our own mind. We allow the mind to torture us. So humility, there may be false humility, there may be external humility. Humility doesn't mean you go around with folded hands and say yes, yes, and then do whatever you like. That's cheating. This is not humility. This is show of humility. Humility means inside you actually accept Krishna as God and that you are his servant and you do your best to serve him. Humility means also, definition of humility is given also, that one doesn't want respect for himself and he is ready to offer all respect to others. But what does that mean? Does it mean you allow people to torture you or to insult you? No, it doesn't mean that. Srila Prabhupada says here that one can tolerate insults, but there is a limit to how much one should tolerate, because it's also not good for the other person to insult you all the time. But especially if the Lord is insulted, or his pure devotees, or his any devotees, then we react very strongly. We don't tolerate this. We don't tolerate other people's insults to Krishna and to devotees. And Krishna also doesn't tolerate people's insults. So people will get reactions if they insult devotees or criticize. And when we come to this moment, we can see so many imperfections. When I came, I expected the devotees walk like half meter above the earth. And when I came for the first time in the temple, I see that actually these people are, until yesterday, they were conditioned souls like me. They were imperfect, so I cannot expect from them perfection right away. They're, they get angry, they are sad, but they are in the process of purification, and they will get better in self-control, in self-realization, in their behavior. They will get better. So we don't judge someone's imperfection, because we also know that we are not perfect, and we know that this is a process of purification, this is a process of healing. So we have to be patient. It's not easy to speak in a self-controlled way, especially if we are triggered, if we are irritated, if we are disturbed, if we are agitated. It's not easy to speak in a spiritual way, but we have to practice. Therefore, in the 17th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, it is said, Anudvega karavakyam satyam priyam hitam chayat swadhyaya vyasanam chaiva vanmayam tapa uchyate. The austerity of speech consists of speaking words that are true to, pleasing, beneficial, and not agitating to others, and in always reciting the Vedic literature. So we have to practice this austerity of speech. But this also refers to our internal dialogue, how we talk to ourselves. This refers to our internal dialogue. Is what is in our mind, is it truthful, pleasing, beneficial? Is it agitating to us? And do we have spiritual content, Shastri content in our head, in our mind? And this has to be practiced. This has to be developed over time. And therefore, if you have a success partner, you can practice this. You can commit. You can commit to apply this verse for a week and see what happens. Or for another week and see what happens. So you're distributing books, you're giving this knowledge to people, but how much are you applying it in your life? And how much you are behaving according to scriptures? And I have seen so many book distributors fall down because of pride. This is very important. Harinamananda Prabhu, who was a Sankirtan star for many years, he had an amazing attitude. And I think this is one of the reasons why he was so successful. He had a very humble attitude and very respectful attitude to other devotees and their services. Everybody is glorifying book distributors, maybe nowadays not so much as before. And it's very easy to think, I'm the best devotee. This is very dangerous. I'm better than others. I'm doing the most important service. So what he would say, so many people are helping us in book distribution, and we are only distributing books. Some people are cooking so that they feed us. Some people are repairing the car. Or someone has bought us the car. Some devotees are giving us accommodation. Then spiritual master is preaching to us and encouraging us. Senior devotees are encouraging us, supporting us. Devotees are glorifying us. So many people are doing so many things so that we can just distribute books. It's so easy to distribute books because everything is taken care of. It's so easy to distribute books because everything is taken care of and everything is done by others. And we just distribute books, and then we come back and everybody says Jai to us. And they don't say Jai to the cook, they don't say Jai to the cleaner, they don't say Jai to the accountant, they don't say Jai to the treasurer, and okay, they say Jai to the Guru sometimes, when he's here. So, he was giving credit to everyone. He was giving credit to everyone. Also, I was translating books for 6 years, and he would come and he would say, oh, without you I couldn't have books in Croatian or in Serbian. So you're doing a very important service of translation, and I just go out and distribute. So he would give credit to everyone for their services, and he wouldn't think, oh, we are the best and we are better than others. And therefore he was empowered to distribute so many books. Once, you would like to hear this. Once our former spiritual master, he was speaking about distributing 1,000 books a day. So what does that mean? It means 30 sets. 30 times 30, that's 900. And if you distribute 33 sets, that's 990. And if you distribute 10 more books, that's 1,000 books. So you need to find only 30 people who will buy a set of 30 books, and you get 990 books, not so bad. Even if it's not 1,000. So he showed them how it's possible. And some of the disciples, like Navinanita, Harinamananda, they actually started to think, well, it is possible, it makes sense. Meet 30 people during 8 or 10 hours of Sankirtan. Isn't that possible, isn't it? So, and they started distributing 500, 600, not so bad, a day, because they focused on sets. So, you see, it means so much when you give up your limiting assumptions. You're assuming that it's impossible to distribute 1,000 books. But if someone shows you how it is possible, you start to believe it. And you start to become a good instrument who believes. Now maybe you're an instrument who doesn't believe that so many books can be distributed. But if you start to believe, then God might empower you. God can empower you to distribute so many books. And you may think, well, it would be great to distribute 1,000 books because then I can rest for the rest of the week. Because I don't distribute 1,000 books in a week, but if I distribute it one day, then for 6 days I can just read the Bhagavatam, and maybe I submit the results at the end, so they don't expecting to distribute more than 1,000. So, anyway. So this is why, you see, when you talk, I'm talking to devotees in a structured way for 20 years. And when you speak to devotees like this, then they start to believe that impossible things are possible. Because in this discussion, you actually show each other how things are possible. Not only about books, about anything. Some devotees were thinking that it's impossible that they can give class. They were so scared. And they had bad experiences also. But then, through conversation and through different angles of vision, they started to believe that actually maybe I can give class and survive. And started to speak, and they started to like it. It started, just like if I tell you, take a cold shower. You say, oh my God, no, I get sick and it's freezing. I say, well, you can warm yourself up a little bit, just sprinkle first, it's easier, and not full shower. And then adapt the body, adapt the skin a little bit, and then when you take a cold shower, you will feel like a hero. And then you say, I will never ever take hot shower because this feels so good. I feel really, really like a human being, or even like a warrior. Otherwise, I feel like a cooked leg when I take warm shower, like spoiled mommy's boy. Yeah. And it might seem impossible in the beginning, but as you practice, you start to like it. You develop a taste. You don't want anything else. Also, maybe sometimes you have entered a cold lake or a cold sea, and in the beginning it's really, really scary and freezing, and you are screaming. But then when your body gets adapted, then you see, oh, this is really good. I want to swim. It's really good. So similarly, when we are trying to surrender to Krishna, some things may seem scary, but actually you see that it's not so scary. You can think about what you are afraid of in the process of surrender. Like some devotees are getting older and they start to be afraid about their future. No pension. ISKCON doesn't give pension. So what will you do when you grow old? No pension. Okay, there is 1 or 2 old age homes, Hare Krishna old age homes in the world, but they will be full because so many people are getting old. So they will be filled, they will be packed. So maybe you get a tent in front of the old age house and just get prashadam. So people ask me, how will you maintain yourself? And what if you get sick and old? I say, well, we shall see. We shall see at the moment when it happens. What can we do? But I believe there will be some arrangement. I have no pension. And then you can arrange to have a pension. You can arrange to have a passive income. For example, you rent your house or your parents' house to get a regular income, and then you arrange everything, and then you die. You arrange everything for your peaceful retirement and old age. You want to live peacefully and chant Hare Krishna in Vrindavan. You buy a house in Vrindavan and you get, pension from Europe, and then you arrange everything and then you die. So I told one story once that one man was working on his health his whole life, and he was always sick. And finally, at the end of life, he got completely healthy and he died. Also, there is success teachers. People speak such funny things, but nobody notices. There is one success teacher who is amazing. He's very intelligent. I'm using his tools sometimes. He's good in training you in self-discipline. So he says, by the time he died, about one man, he explained how he was saving. saving his whole life. He says by the time he died, he was worth few $1 billion. But he died. So he couldn't bring this money with him to the graveyard. Okay, you may say, well, he left something to his family, so he felt satisfied that he left something. He felt like he has done something for his family. But it's funny that, you save your whole life to die rich. I mean, does it make sense to die rich? Even to die famous also. You are going to die. People will forget you. I ask people, do you know about Rolling Stones? This is Rolling Stones. I have no idea who are these guys. They don't know about the Beatles. It's a shame. For the old generation, it's a shame. They know, Jay-Z and who else was this dog, Snoop Dogg. They know these guys. They don't know about the Beatles. I mean, Beatles are legends. Even Beatles are legends from the point of view of Hare Krishna. George Harrison was a Hare Krishna. And Maharishi people say he was a Maharishi follower or transcendental meditation follower. But then Paul McCartney, he made a song about Krishna. The Lord is riding across the ocean. The Lord is riding across the sea. He made a song about Krishna. John Lennon spoke to Prabhupada. Prabhupada preached to John Lennon and Yoko Ono. Only Ringo didn't get in touch with Krishna consciousness. So, Beatles are so famous, and this young generation, it's a shame they don't know about them. Because, you cannot be famous with everyone all the time. You can be famous with some people for some time. So he died famous, he left maybe book also. You can leave a book. Oh, what happened here? You can leave a book, but you die. It's good that you have left some wisdom for people, but you die. So where are you going? I mean, you can write an amazing book and be born as an animal. So what's the use? You didn't deliver yourself. So therefore, high quality association with devotees, not only with your guru, because guru comes rarely, but with the devotees who are around you will help you succeed. So therefore, I invite you to come on Friday at 6 o'clock to our seminar on Devotee Success Partnership, and on Saturday at 11 to 1. It's only 2 hours, and there is also a break, and there is also cookies, refreshments, and there is little music, and there is entertainment. But you can learn a couple of principles that will help you for a long time. Thank you very much for listening. Do you have any questions? Yes?
I quite appreciated your point on compassion.
You get a mic. It's a very good habit to have questions on the microphone, because then those who listen, they can hear. But you should get the wireless. But okay, this is long, it's okay. Yes?
I quite appreciated your point about compassion between devotees. And I was recalling even when Adi Purusha Prabhu was here giving his seminar on 9 devotional services, he mentioned how it is so important for us to pray for each other. And he said that we should have a set of friends, like devotees, who we don't have to compete with, and we can reveal their heart to. And for me, one thing I think I struggle with, or which is there in my heart, is that, like you mentioned, that when we come in new, we are given so much attention and so much care. But in the long run, that kind of fades away. In the sense that even my Guru Maharaj once said that attention to details is a sign of love. And I think sometimes, even between devotees, that attention to details is not there. And especially with me, what happens is that, like growing up in Krishna consciousness, we are told about the dangers of the material world and the outside world, and when someone is not a devotee. And then, somewhere you lose trust there. And then, if you do not have something to fall back upon, then somewhere you lose the ability to trust. And you can have faith in devotees, but trust is another aspect altogether. So then I wonder now that how do I develop that trust? Because I think, yes, there are some very wonderful devotees who watch out for me, who engage me in service, and I'm so appreciative about that. But I still struggle with how, even in a devotee community, that attention to details is missing, or yeah.
So what is your question?
So when it comes to developing trust, that yes, I can reveal my heart completely without being judged, or my struggles. So how do I develop that ability to trust?
You have to find someone you can trust. But if you look, you will find. If you really want, if you look, you will find. And also you become trustworthy. You become trustworthy. So in one sense, a devotee is becoming a shelter for others, or a connection to Krishna. If you can always go to someone and they help you get back on track, that's a big thing. When you sleep or when you become weak, you always go on. And you should also become like this for others. That they can come to you and they always can recover because of talking to you or you listening. Listening is a big thing. Listening is a sign of love. When you listen with attention, then devotees can think better. Listening is a sign of respect. So I just, upstairs, I forgot to bring it, I wanted to show you. I have a book with the title, Are You Listening or Just Waiting to Speak? Most people are waiting to speak. So I think if you find someone who listens, not only talks, you can trust them more. Therefore we are training devotees to listen, not to talk. Talking anybody can do. And talking is done so much. But listening is very rare. So in our sessions, you have attended also, we have this whole session is just about facilitating your thinking, not about me telling you something. I'm already telling you so many things. But when we speak, you think. So when you ask me, what do you think about this? I ask you, what do you think about this? And you tell me first. How long can you think without my help? And how much longer can you think with my help? God is in your heart too. So where is your connection with the higher intelligence? You have equal opportunity as me to use your intelligence. So please use it. I can always say something at the end if needed, if you're really in darkness or in fog about something, but first you exercise your intelligence, your brain, and think how to do this, how to do that, like this. And I always say, if you see that something is lacking in ISKCON, it's an opportunity for you to become like this, to become this, to fill the gap. You may say, well, I'm too young. No, very soon you will not be too young. There will be younger coming and saying, oh, you are so experienced, you are 5 years in Krishna consciousness. Before we used to be senior after 3 months. After 3 months you are a senior devotee, more experienced, you become like guru and preach to young devotees, bhakta leader. But you can think about of those whom you know, who could be your trusted guide, trusted advisor, trusted supporter. Someone who is really interested in your success and your happiness in Krishna consciousness. Okay? Anything else? Yes?
Thank you for the class.
What is your name?
Philip.
Bhakta Philip.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I also have a question about this, like sharing the hearts of the devotees, because I think it's something that's very important.
Little closer.
I would like to hear myself.
But we like to hear you, and also internet people.
I do it for you. So I think it's very important. I also like to do it. I mean, for me it's not a problem, but the thing is like sometimes then, let's say, I share my heart quite fast, you know, if I get to know someone and I think like, okay, I can trust him. But what to do then, like, for me it happens a lot that then my trust gets broken or, yeah. So how should we deal with that? Because I think in one point we should share the heart, but at the same time when then the trust gets broken, you know, it's like always breaking apart and then you think like, maybe I should just trust no one, or is it that we can trust no one?
It's hellish. If you don't trust anyone, it's hellish. So, in devotee success partnership, what we advise is that you consciously build trust. In the beginning, this is one of the foundational principles of devotee success partnership. You actually come with the idea to build trust, and you can define how you will build trust. So, one aspect of trust is confidentiality. So, you know, you agree that our conversations are confidential. And please don't spread it. Then another aspect of trust is that your partner will not judge you. They will try to help you, not to judge you. If you have obstacles, problems, okay, let's discuss how to deal with this. And listening with the idea to understand. So if you feel understood by someone, then this builds trust. If you feel understood by someone. So I know it's not easy to find, you know, mentors so easily, because this is why I started the Devotee Success Partnership, because we don't have people who come forward to be trusted mentors or trusted guides. But we have to become this to each other. And you have enough experience. And I'm giving you structures how you can communicate, how you can talk. I give you 6-7 structures how you can exercise and discuss things and deal with problems. And the agreement at the beginning is we want to build trust. And we will do things that build trust, and we will not do things that diminish trust. Because trust between people is the most important ingredient. And trust between devotees is precious. And if somebody reveals confidential things, then don't betray their trust by telling somebody else. But you keep it between you, two of you, and you see how to deal with this. And then when you grow a little bit in Krishna consciousness and people start to come to you and ask for help, then you know, because you were betrayed maybe in the past, you know that I don't want to do this to others. You know, I'm going to be confidential. I'm going to understand this person and not judge them. So you start a new tradition of trustworthy guides. And you become the one. And soon, you will not believe. In a couple of years you will be initiated, they will say, oh, you are senior, you experience. You say, me senior, I'm still struggling with too much prashara. But people expect you to be trustworthy, that they can talk to you about their lives, about their secrets, about their dark secrets. People come and tell me, I have dark secrets. I have done all the nonsense that exists in the world. And I say, well, past you cannot change, but let's focus on a better future. And don't repeat mistakes. Okay, let's try. I don't need to hear about your dark secrets, because they are always the same. Conditioned souls have the same secrets. They are evil, they are selfish, they exploit others, or, I don't know, enjoy too much, intoxication. What else is there? We know what is their dark secret. It's not very exciting. Okay? Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you also to everyone who was listening on the internet. Hare Krishna.
His Grace Sakura Prabhu ki jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.